Hi everybody. Yesterday I did a serious video. Today is sort of serious, but not too serious. We will be talking about Selena Quintanilla Perez, and just some of the facts that people have been saying, and kind of my perspective of how I see it. Everyone has their own belief of what they think happened, and it kind of is a mystery, I guess you could say. Even though Chris did write a book off of her and explain some of what happened, but not exactly the full extent. But you can get a good sense of what's going on in the book. And if you have seen the book, or if you've seen the video of the lady reviewing about the book, then you're clearly already knowing, but I'm going to refresh your guys' memory. So there was an incident one time where Suzette saw a little bit of something of Chris and Selena, and that ticked her off a bit, and she decided to go tell Abraham about it, and Abraham went back onto the bus and asked to talk to Chris alone, and he talked to Chris and told Chris to not talk to Selena ever again, and to don't acknowledge her at all of the above. And then he said, don't mention anything to Selena because she's not going to take your side, she's just going to take my side. So a little bit of me understanding and what Abraham's doing, he's trying to blackmail Chris into thinking that Selena won't trust him, so that way he won't talk to Selena about that incident. So he was doing everything he could to manipulate Chris to make him believe him into thinking that Selena was gonna not believe him and take her father's word for it. There was something I noticed on Google, and me and my mom actually talked a bit about what people are saying, and I highly don't think that this is actually in the slightest bit true. At least some of the information isn't true, but then some of that could possibly be true. But in the extent, I don't think that was what they had as planned. But there was this person that used this site to put evidence and stuff to answer people's questions, and people are now trying to say that Selena's father pimped her out into being a young girl singing, and I don't think that is entirely true at all. He loved his daughter to death. I don't think he would give herself away to young men who rape or sexually assault kids. Like, I don't think he would do that. So I think that person is just trying to stir the pot and try and put down the family, because they know that they are dealing with a lot of stress and sadness missing their daughter and sister, and it's really hard for them. But they why would somebody just all of a sudden assume that her father was trying to pimp her out? Like, I strongly do not believe that he had that intention. I think he wanted to see his daughter succeed in such a beautiful, true way. Another thing that they started saying is that at the age of 20 or 21, I forgot what age it was, but they were saying that Selena had managed to been trying to fire her father, which I heard another thing about that on YouTube. So apparently it is very true that maybe possibly Selena was thinking about trying to fire her father. And another thing, too, is that they were saying that Abraham and Suzette were the reason why she got murdered, because one, Suzette, well, they said that Suzette was upset about what Selena had, like the talent and Chris, and they were saying that Suzette was also part of the plan of having Selena killed. I don't believe that at all. I strongly do not believe that Suzette and Abraham had any intention on getting Selena murdered. I think what really truly happened is they accidentally picked the wrong fan club president to manage, and they could have went more deeper into her background, but they couldn't at the same time because there was no information that they could find out that would lead to her as a criminal mastermind, because she hadn't been arrested yet and her case had already been settled out. So people are assuming these accusations. I mean, sure, there might be some dark sides along the way, but it doesn't make it to be where that story is credible. None whatsoever. And I don't know why, but people like to stir the pot, and people like to think that Abraham and Suzette had the plan to kill Selena, when that entirely is not true. There was only one mastermind in that whole entire incident of her death, and that was Yolanda Saldivar. And I just really don't know what people are thinking. Like, this is a tribute to Selena. Like, we have to make sure that the people that love her the most are seen as the one that always loved her from the day that she was born towards the day that it was her last day, that they loved her. Like, they did not want her to die. They loved her so much. I just don't understand why people think that that is what really happened behind closed doors. I mean, yeah, she did want to fire Abraham possibly, and yeah, maybe Suzette was jealous of her sister, but that doesn't mean they both wanted her dead. Like, they loved her to death, and they just, I'm guessing, they lived with what they knew was regret in their heart, but they knew that they didn't want her to be hurt. That's my honest opinion. Oh, and another thing that I know that would also give you good sense as to why you should believe me that they are innocent is that in the series, there was an incident where Selena was getting attacked by a guy because he was drunk, and he tried grabbing Selena, and it just looked like everyone was trying to be there for her to protect her. Even her father and her mother went out of the way to get a security guard to watch on her 24/7 to make sure that she's safe and that no one is trying to harm her. Because that's the moment that they realized that she could have been in more danger than ever. So that kind of sheds a little bit of light that shows you that her family loved her and wanted her protection. So anyone that thinks that there was any intention for them to hurt Selena, you are far off. That is so false. They do not want to hurt their daughter. They loved her to death, and they're really traumatic about what happened in that moment, and they're doing everything they can to portray her as a good person. There is one more thing that we really do need to clear up, because somebody said that there was somebody else helping Yolanda, and this is a conspiracy theory that I've seen on Google or on videos and stuff like that. And somebody is saying that there was a blonde 30-year-old, or I don't know how old she was. I think somebody said it was a 30-year-old, and then somebody else said it was a teenager that was helping Yolanda. There is no way that there could have been a possibility that somebody else was helping Yolanda. Not at all. It was all intact. She had a very good idea about her plan. She had papers that Selena wanted. She knew that Selena is gonna want those papers. She knew when that would be the best time. And before she bought a gun, and she had the intention of killing Selena because she was upset with her for firing her, and she was upset with her because she felt like she was not in the shadow of Selena anymore, and that was only how Yolanda would be something. She wasn't something anymore because Abraham fired her, and she thought that it was intimidating, and it was a no-brainer. She wanted to try and hurt Abraham to take away the most prized possession that he loved the most. So yeah, whoever is saying that there was more help with Yolanda, that there was a blonde 30-year-old or teenager, whatever, that is never what had happened. This was all Yolanda and nobody else. She had made the plan, she made exactly what she set out to do, and it wasn't anybody else. I hate when people like to try and pinpoint what they think they know, but at the end of the day, it's not true. It is false. It's not credible. They know, the investigators know what's best. The big super fans like me that are super fans of Selena knows what actually happens because they've been researching it and they've been knowing about it since the first day. So yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. All around, it was very sad, and all around, she is still missed to this day, and she will always live on forever with her legacy. There are a couple ways you can continue living her legacy. She has a memorial little gravesite you can go and visit. You can bring her flowers. You just can't go inside because they have it barricaded. because there were some incidents where people were damaging her space and stuff like that. So you can like put the flowers in there over the thing. I've seen people do that before where they just put it over the thing and they just like kind of enjoy looking at that space. Or you can go to her statue. I think same rules apply. You have to respect the statue. And then they also have her museum where all of her stuff is there. The stuff that she owned, her costumes, all of the above. There's so much stuff you can look at there. And then they also have her shop there because their boutique closed, but they didn't want to stop with her enterprise and they didn't want to stop selling her cool little things that her fans could buy. So she has a shop there. So that's pretty cool. They didn't stop selling her merchandise, and that's pretty cool. So you can go ahead and check her shop out too. You can also go online to Q Productions, and her shop is online too. So if anybody can't make it to the museum and go to her shop there, you can buy stuff online, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Please subscribe, like, and please catch up for more content. Thank you so much for staying with me, watching my videos, dealing with my talks, no matter what topic it is. I just love spreading words and love and joy and talk. It's kind of important to me to spread any information basically to anybody that has questions or wants to know more about this. It's important for me to have that stuff answered. So I'll see you again soon, YouTube.